What I want to share with you guys about that is that visual storytelling is a difficult task in any type of medium. In comic books, it's more difficult because you've got a writer writing a story, and you've got an artist drawing the story, and they have to collaborate. And sometimes it doesn't work out so well. But when it does, the eventual outcome is much more better than the original idea. It turns into something much more grand. Another thing about artists is they have to know how to draw panels. Usually the human eye is drawn to the character of the story that is speaking, and the artist will spend a lot more detail on the actual character who's talking versus the background information. So that turns into a little more static. They do this in a variety of different ways, from cartooning to even photorealism, so that people feel like they're actually like reading a movie. I'm going to share with you guys my 3 main points on how you're going to understand the art of comic book storytelling. Collaboration, emphasis, and framing sequences. According to Van Lente and Dunleavy, there are actually a lot more people than just a writer and an artist collaborating on a comic book. There's actually several. There is a writer who writes the script and the story and does the plot outlines. There's a penciler who draws all the things that the writer wants drawn. There's an inker who boldens up the pictures for the penciler. There's a colorist who adds mood and lighting and really gets the tone of the comic book through colors. And there's the letterer who essentially lives from the script and writes speech bubbles and narrative boxes on the panels. And of course there's an editor who brings all these talents together that tries to make the most out of every situation and make the best product for the comic book. So now we've checked out collaboration, let's take a look at, this is the process I was just talking about, sorry. Getting ahead of myself there. There we go. Very cool. And that's what they look like separate. So now we've checked out the collaboration process, let's take a look at the emphasis that artists will use. A lot of comic books will open up with full-page splashes, so they give you an introduction. According to Dugan, this is called a full-page splash, which invites the reader into the story and kind of sets the tone of what kind of book you're going to be reading. After that, there's usually a double-page splash, which is used in pages 2 and 3, which will invite you into the world of the story you're also getting into. According to Eisner, different angles and panels will be used throughout the story of varying sizes. Here's one. So that the reader's eyes can follow what is going on. And the idea is that the artist will make everything look attractive so you can look from panel to panel, seeing how the story is flowing. So now we've looked at emphasis. Let's take a look at framing sequences. Comic books are drawn left to right, just like prose novels. In Japan, they have what they call manga, and that's from right to left. And all these panels are emphasized through negative space, which is referred to as the gutter. That's this white space in between each panel. According to McLeod, each of these spaces should usually be squares or rectangles, so they're nice on the eye and they have some sort of symmetry to them. However, because artists are super creative, they like to do their own thing sometimes, like in this picture. And hopefully, if the reader can follow each panel what's happening, then they can still continue to draw in business. So, I hope you guys learned a little bit about comic books and how the art of storytelling is. The industry is constantly growing and inviting new writers and artists into the field. And with those new writers and artists, more creativity and more uniqueness are brought forth through the story, making each new story a good read. The cool thing about comic books that separates it from the medium is that the writer can collaborate with so many people and really put what's in their head and their imagination on paper. Thank you.